Can a miracle happen in your life today? Or is it just for the Bible? Miracles, are they just for the Bible? Or can it happen right now in your life today? Yes, it can. Probably the real question is, do you believe that a miracle can happen in your life today? Yes, it can. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing and leave a like, a comment, and share the video, please, because it can help somebody else out. So, can a miracle happen in your life? Yeah, it can. What is a miracle? A miracle is something that you can't even perform. A situation that you can't help, but only the Spirit can do it. So, let's look back in the book of John chapter 11. Jesus is faced with one of the most difficult situations in the Bible. His friend Lazarus is about to die. His friend Lazarus is about to die. So Martha, who is Lazarus' sister, comes to Jesus and tells him that Lazarus is about to die. He is sick and he needs a miracle. But Jesus waits 2 days before taking the journey back to Judea to heal Lazarus. Why did he wait 2 days? He waited 2 days because he was not trying to prevent death, but rather Jesus was trying to reverse death. He was trying to do something great in the eyes of the people and for Lazarus by allowing death to come. You see, we run from these difficult situations. We run from death. There's a lot of death that could happen in our life. There's a lot of death that could happen with our job, with our home, with our house, with our car. So much can happen. And it's death. But the Spirit can allow it because it wants to do a miracle in your life. He wants to perform something great in your life. Instead of looking at the situation as, oh, this is impossible, we need to look at the situation and say, hey, the Spirit is trying to do something, is orchestrating something in our life. Millennials, the Spirit is orchestrating something in your life right now. He is trying to do something great. Don't be ignorant of this. He is trying to do something great. If you feel like death has come into your life right now, don't worry. He's putting something together for us. So, Jesus hears from Martha, and he tells her, hey, he waited 2 days, and he tells her, hey, Lazarus is not dead, but sleeps. She didn't understand that because Lazarus did die. Lazarus was dead. But he said, he's sleeping right now, and I'm going to awake him. She looks at him and says, yeah, I believe in a resurrection. But for the future, Jesus looked and says, I am the resurrection. Are you close enough to the Spirit that He is your resurrection? I want to tell you that knowing about a future resurrection is not good enough. We all know that there is a future resurrection, but that's not good enough. You have to have an experience with the Spirit. You have to allow the Spirit to resurrect some things in your life. If you allow the Spirit to resurrect things in your life, and I'm talking about not preventing death, but reversing things in your life, whatever that situation is in your life, whatever that calling is in your life, you felt like it died. That thing that you wanted to do back in the past, you want it to do. Something great you want it to do, but it died. If you allow the Spirit to resurrect it in your life and cause a miracle that is so impactful that it's not just for you, but for others. He has to become that in your life. But you got to go deep. You got to allow that situation to be the access point to what it wants to do in your life. So Martha is saddened, and she's weeping and she's crying because her friend or her brother is dead, and the people are crying because Lazarus is dead. And because of all this going on, doubt, unbelief, not understanding, just the whole situation, no comprehension of what the Spirit is trying to do. It's trying to reverse death. It's allowing it, and they're not understanding it. Jesus begins to weep and cry because of all this emotional oppression that's on him. He is dealing with death right now in this story. So he tells him to open up the sepulcher. And when he opens it up, he prays and says things out loud. Not for himself, but for the people, so that they can believe and know who he is. This miracle was not for Jesus, but this miracle was for the people. And he says, Lazarus, come forth. And the miracle is performed. And Lazarus wakes up from the dead. This can happen in your life through any situation that you're up against right now. Whatever you're feeling, whatever you're dealing with, this can happen. A resurrection can happen in your life. You see, every miracle that Jesus did, from turning water into wine to feeding the 5,000, every situation and miracle that he did came down to this miracle right here of raising the dead. You see, in our own lives, we know what the Spirit has done. We say, well, I was short a little bit and the Spirit gave me this. Or I was needing something and he gave me this. And I was needing a job and he blessed me with a job. Or I was needing a house to live in and he blessed me with a house. But then you're faced with an even more difficult situation in your life that's totally out of your control, You can't do nothing about it. So what do? You have no choice. You begin to shift. You shift yourself to the Spirit alone. And when you make that shift, that's when he begins to perform in your life. Everything in your life comes down to this one moment. The moment is this miracle, a great miracle. But like Jesus said, it is for us to believe first, going deep into the situation that we're in. Allowing the difficult situation to be the access point, whatever it is that you're facing, especially for us millennials today. You see, we cried a lot about situations in our life. We cried a lot about things that we couldn't do, things that are out of our control. But we can't just cry. We got to give it also. Whatever it is that you went through, if it was a relationship, maybe a marriage relationship, God wants to orchestrate some things. The Spirit's trying to orchestrate things. He said, hey, I could resurrect that relationship that you had. I could resurrect it. But you got to be willing to go deep. You got to be willing to go through that situation. Not running from it, but giving it to him. Allow him to do a miracle in your life by giving it to him and going through it, and watch him reverse death and resurrecting those things, those deep things that you longed for, those dreams that you had. Let them resurrect. If you feel like the dream died, perfect. That's what he'd been wanting to do. The dream always dies first before it's resurrected. He's not trying to prevent it. Or rather, he's trying to reverse it. Let the miracle happen. God bless you.